Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Monday to you and your family. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at BNB, seeing what's going on. Got a lot of requests for this because we got some folks in our community with a long position. They want to know how much longer they should hold it. No pun intended there, but at this point, what we want to do is look at some big picture, kind of see what's going on and help understand. I guess the best practice for something like this. A lot of times it helps to look at previous week highs and lows, because then you can kind of see these liquidity sweeps that happen all the time, and then furthermore, of course, help understand key level supports and resistances, because we can kind of see here, it's pretty obvious, the price is having difficulty crossing that 249, 250 range. So we'll pay attention to that as well, and obviously make sure we make note of that. So again, if you're new to the channel, hope you can learn something here today. I love to teach people to trade. CryptoCash.tech is the site if you want to become a better trader. We got a lot of cool opportunities there. One other cool thing I just got to kind of preface here and make sure you know, because a lot of my traders were hit with KYC with KuCoin, BINGX and Bybit. Those all last 3 months have taken a big hit. Well, BINGX has got you covered. We got this awesome exclusive event until July 31st. You get $50 transfer bonus for putting in $50 in your account, and then 3,000 USDT for $100 bonus there as well, right? So all you gotta do is trade with 3,000 USDT. Real easy to do that, honestly, by the way, because it doesn't take much with leverage. But the bottom line here is that this is no VPN or KYC required for those guys. And so they just really helped our community out big time. We've got copy trading, some really cool stuff coming as well. Be sure to check that out again. Everything's linked down below. So when it comes to BNB, we want to look at a few things here. And that the important thing, I think, of course, is let's just go from the get-go here, from the beginning, because I think it's important to cover a lot of different things, of course, because not just one thing is important, right? That's the thing with trading. You got to realize that there's a lot of factors kind of coming into play to make sure you make an informed decision. Now, again, there's no exact science, but you can increase your odds of success by knowing a few key factors. So we got the 50-day SMA, by the way, coming down at around 260. That'll work as a resistance. If the price continues to work itself up, we'll probably see initial rejection off that. We're not there yet, but we are above the 20-day simple moving average tentatively. I like to emphasize the word tentative because that, of course, is somewhat of a trend setter, and this candlestick hasn't closed yet either. So try not to get too ahead of yourselves, but there's a good chance we will sustain this unless Bitcoin drops 30,000. Okay. I'm expecting Bitcoin to lose 30,000 in the near future, but I don't know if it's going to be today. We got to retest that 30,600 range, and we'll see here in a moment if that happens. But the bottom line here is that BNB is looking fairly strong, considering the fact that it came really low and has since been range bound between 230 and roughly 250. Okay, so we've got this little $20 range here for BNB, and it's not looking terrible, honestly. But with us coming up to this level, unless we can break this 0.618 Fibonacci there, it's going to be difficult for us to continue to excel. And we'll talk about that here in a minute, but the last thing to kind of summarize is that we are up against 50 in the RSI, notoriously a strong resistance level. We have been below 50 in the RSI since May 5th. Okay, so BNB has had a difficult time maintaining itself above that level. Once we break through that, there's a good chance we'll stay above. But for now, we can expect the price to reject out somewhere close to the current level, about, once again, 250 or lower is the current rejection level we're looking at. Okay. So there's that as well. All right, now let's kind of take a look at some previous weeks here and kind of see what's going on. Because if we take a look at the week close, we can see 234 is roughly the previous week close. And the 1 week low, of course, is 230. We can kind of see that here. Previous week low is right around 220. That'd be a case in point where we might see a liquidation hunt. If the price comes down, it may come all the way down to that level. So a limit order in the 220 to 225 range wouldn't be terrible. Okay, because again, the likelihood of it wicking down there is fairly high. And again, when you see these large candle wicks, those are just liquidation hunts where they're just kind of pushing the price as low as they can. They get a lot of stops out, and then they buy in at a lower price point and sell at a higher one. So they stop you out right here, and then they buy and they sell right here. They just continue to repeat that behavior over and over. That's where looking at the weekly opens and closes are very helpful, I feel. Same with monthly too. We could take a peek at that, but they're going to be larger ranges here. So we take a look at the 1 month low, of course, that's roughly down there at 220. So again, good buying opportunity there. And of course, if the price were to come up to just say the 300 range, that'd be a good consideration for a sell. Obviously, we're a little ways from that, but that is just, again, very, very big picture. All right, so let's look at the 4 hour and kind of work our way down and kind of see what's going on here, because the 4 hour is interesting. So what we've seen here so far is we've established a higher high. That's great. That's a trend setter or a trend reversal. We can see a double bottom here as well as a rough estimate of a potential continuation up here. So if we see a pullback, the pullback should be the most recent high, bouncing off the most recent low here. So I think 241 would be a case in point where you might want to consider a long position there if you were to, if Bitcoin were to continue to be okay and stay in the ranges in. And Bitcoin remains range bound, we're all good. Bitcoin loses 30,000, we test that low to mid 29K range, which I'm expecting in the relative near future. I don't think any of this is going to matter. It's just going to go ahead and drop. But again, good limit order, I would say, is about 225. So I'm going to go ahead and set alert somewhere in that range as well, just so I can get alerted to continue or consider taking a long position somewhere in that 225 range. And again, just a big picture thing, something I'm going to take a look at. I'm not just going to jump in because it's there. I will reevaluate at the time, but setting these alerts is very helpful. One last thing to look at here on the RSI is that we are rejecting off 70 on the RSI, kind of telling us that we should expect further downside here in the relative near future. So to me, I think BNB should experience pullback here soon based on the fact that we're rejecting off of 2 key level RSI resistance levels. We're also overextended to the upside in a lot of ways. And what we want to look at is on the hourly, kind of see what this looks like here. We got TD sequential telling us we're at a 9, so pullback would make sense. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't do anything obnoxious and shoot straight up, I think BNB should be able to continue to pull back at least a little bit. Again, a pullback to the 240, 242 range would make sense here. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look quickly at the Ichimoku Cloud. All green lights here to leave your long position open. So again, I'm not saying that you should short into this, but there is some decent opportunities here where the price could reject out here. So again, if Bitcoin cannot close above 30,600 today, in my opinion, I think that BNB would be a good opportunity for a short there because we are overextended on a lot of different time frames, and we're noticing that now. Last thing I want to take a quick look at would be just say the 15-minute here. We can see stochastics telling us that the price action wants to continue higher. So albeit overextended a lot of time frames, still a little early. Okay, so I would recommend waiting to see how BNB responds to this upper Fibonacci retracement level. And what I mean by that is right here at roughly 248 to 250. So right in the 248 to 250 range, I would say it would be a good area to kind of pay attention to. If the price action wicks up to this level, I'm going to be kind of on top of it and consider a short position at that level. Again, it may not come up that high, but it just depends on if Bitcoin wants to try to run up to that, that previous 1 week open, roughly at about 30,600. Okay, so a lot of this hinges, big surprise, on Bitcoin either dropping or continuing upwards, right? One of two scenarios will happen. It's inevitable. So the price will either go up or down, right? You can flip a coin really at this point. But in the same accord, it does feel like Bitcoin is starting to lose that momentum, starting to lose that success at this level. And a slow bleed out, I think, is inevitable here to 28, 29K for Bitcoin. And of course, we should see some lower price points from BNB because of that. But once more, anything could happen. Be careful, be cautious when you trade. Make sure that you are using good, effective risk management. I teach that in my trading academy. If you want to become, again, a better trader, cryptocash.tag is a site. Link down below. Be sure to check that out. But once more, make sure you check this out. Of course, if you're not using BINGX, fantastic exchange. Highly recommend them. And then, of course, make sure you jump on over to our Twitter there. Help us grow the community. We created this roughly a couple weeks ago, and it's been a pretty good experience all in all to be able to interact directly with our members. So we like that a lot. A little late to the game, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. That's just kind of how trading works, right? You can be late to a lot of parties. All right, well, I hope this helped you and you had a good experience. Be sure to comment below. Let me know how long you've been following me, too. Great to hear that as well. Got some members been up in the 2 to 3 year mark. That's really awesome. Thanks again for all your support. We'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself.